And a short time ago, I was joined from Perth by former Australian wicketkeeper Adam Gilchrist, a great friend and former teammate of Ricky Ponting. Adam Gilchrist, thanks very much for being with us. Why do you think Ricky Ponting's going now?
Oh, I guess he's I guess he just realises that the time is right for him, and I'm really just so happy for him that he's come to that realisation. I'm not insinuating it should have been sooner or later, but just he's the only one who knows. Having been through that scenario, it's just such a nice settled feeling when you get to that. So I'm really thrilled for he and Rihanna and his whole family. It's been an extraordinary career, which everyone is going to acknowledge over the next few days, and it's nice he will be acknowledged in that fashion.
Ponting said today that he had been disappointed with his form in recent weeks. Is that not something that is recoverable though?
I would imagine if Ricky Ponting kept playing Test cricket, he'll continue to get results. I guess the question is, will there be little periods of time in between those hundreds or 200s or whatever it may be that cast doubt into people's mind, and none the least in his own mind. And I think that's the only mind you need to answer to is yourself. Do you feel that you're going to do it consistently? And that's the question, and obviously Ricky's come to an answer there.
He obviously hasn't been in top form lately, but more broadly, what sort of gap will he leave in the team?
Oh, it's a huge hole that he's going to leave, not just in the batting position, but everything he brings to it. He's the most professional, committed trainer that I've seen when it comes to skills practice. In more recent time, his fitness levels he's really focused on to try and prolong that career and make sure that he's in fine physical shape. And his experience, his wealth of knowledge. So look, he was first around the Australian team back in 1995. So that's a massive wealth of experience there that's going to be missed, and it's going to be a great challenge now for the selectors. But as time goes on, I'm sure it's an exciting challenge that they have ahead of them.
What was it like? You were vice captain with him as captain for a lot of years. What was it like working with him?
Yeah, Lee, you're spot on, and I hope this doesn't sound too much like a love fest, but I really just look back at that time with really fond memories, not just playing alongside Ricky, but as a friend and a mentor. You know, it's rare someone younger than you's a mentor for you, but I found him that through his experience. But just to work alongside him with that captain-vice captain relationship was really enjoyable. His work ethic was inspirational. The manner with which he went out on the field and displayed the skills he had. I thought his leadership was terrific, and as I say, I really enjoyed just being around him, and I think we had a similar sense of humour, so that was good fun as well.
Well, you stood next to him behind the wicket for years. Was he good at the banter against the opposition?
Oh, Ricky was a scrapper. He's a fighter. He's from a background that always encouraged standing up for yourself and confronting any aggression that came your way. So he was more than happy to do that. He didn't necessarily go looking for it, but as I say, if there was a scrap on or a fight, he was more than happy to get in there.
Can you recall any memorable one-liners?
Oh, no, not really. I don't think he was that witty. But no, he was always happy to be. He was more, a bloke that would just get in there in an aggressive manner, physically, and take on whatever was thrown his way.
How overall would you describe his contribution to Australian cricket?
Look, it ranks right up alongside the greatest contributions ever. Not just on the field. I think statistically it is the greatest contribution by amount of runs, and I believe if he's not equal, he's very close to Steve Waugh in the number of test matches he's played by the end of this Perth test. But I think his contribution all round, the way he's wanted to stay on, he's the last of that amazing era, that golden years, if you like, of the Warnes and McGraths and Steve Waugh and so on, all those names. He's the last to move on. He stayed on for a few years extra after everyone else retired to try and leave a legacy and encourage that new brigade to come in and learn about the past and go forward well into the future. And I guess the greatest example of how to go about a professional career, it's the first time you ever get a go at this. You don't learn about it at school. Ricky had his issues early on in his career, the infamous King's Cross incident and so on, black eyes. He went away and he learnt. He learnt what he wanted to do. He learnt what was important to him, and he pursued those goals with great vigour and commitment. And I think that's a wonderful message, not just to Australian cricket, but to anyone out there that wants to use someone as an example to aspire to be like.
You've made a successful transition to retirement from cricket. What would be your advice to Ricky Ponting as he goes to make that same step?
Well, it's amazing. It's an interesting question. I found out the news about Ricky's retirement today when I was on the golf course, and I would imagine that one of the priorities for Ricky is going to be get out on that golf course many, many times, because he's a far better golfer than I ever will be. But look, I think he's going to be well established to launch into life outside of the game. I think commercially he's a well sought after personality and leader, and his thoughts on leadership, and none the least his family. He's got 2 young children there and a wife in Rihanna who's sacrificed a lot over the years. So the focus will be there for him in many different areas, and there'll be plenty of opportunity for him.
Well, and it sounds like he can look forward to thrashing you on the golfing green. Adam Gilchrist, thanks very much.
Pleasure, thank you.